Hey, welcome back, and in this video we're going to go over the lessons collection page. At the very top is the lesson itself, so the lesson name, and then the module that ties back to that lesson. Nothing to change here, you can keep this as is. The video ties back to the lesson video, and then this is your text content for that lesson. Alright, so for this lessons collection page, we do make use of Finsweet CMS Nest attributes over here. And that is essentially to allow you to have an unlimited number of lessons under a certain module. Without that script, Webflow does have a 10 nested CMS limit. So in order to set this script up for Finsweet's CMS Nest, please head over to Finsweet. To set this up and to understand more about how it works, please head over to finsweet.com/attributes and you should find CMS Nest, and they do have a bunch of tutorials on that as well. But right now, for the structure of this template, you do have, just starting off at the very top, you have this collection over here. So this collection over here that ties back to all your modules. And then breaking down that collection, you will have the module header that right now does have to be a link. And that is required for Finsweet CMS Nest script to work. In order to disable that link, and in order to stop a user from going to the module page, because we do not use the module page in this template, there is a short script over here. There's a short script over here that essentially just stops a user from clicking on this heading and being redirected to the module page, because the module page is essentially blank and they will land up on an error page. So nothing to worry about here, just keep it as is. And it does have an attribute of MS code module name, and that is again just to help this script over here on the lessons collection page to stop redirecting a user to a module page when that link is clicked. Right. Going further in, you have an empty div block over here, and that is to make Finsweet CMS Nest feature work. And essentially the script will plug in. Let's show you over here. Over here. And I'll just open that up. So for CMS Nest, you need this collection down here. So essentially this collection ties back to all your lessons everywhere. All your lessons that you have within your CMS collection. And essentially the CMS Nest feature will plug in all of these lessons within this blank div blocks over here. So on this page, you have the CMS Nest source, and this div is always set to display none and should not be deleted from the page, as you will not be able to have a list of lessons under that. So if I go over to my enrolled courses over here and then scroll all the way down to go to my lessons page, you can see that that div block that you have over here that is blank is now populated by all your lessons, and it's essentially pulling them from this hidden collection that we have all the way down here at the bottom. So you need this to make this functionality work and to have an unlimited number of lessons under your modules. Apart from that, you also need to have this same CMS Nest source div on your modules page. So your modules page over here has the same collection over here. And this is to reference the lessons that fall under that. But again, to make this functionality work and to learn more about how it actually works, you need to go to finsweet.com/attributes. Apart from that, this little div over here, just set it to display none. Do not delete it, and heading back to the lessons page. On the lessons page, you will see that a user can mark a lesson as completed over here. And there is a script on this page, that allows a user to mark a lesson as completed. So a really cool thing with this script is that when a user clicks that button, they'll essentially get an encouraging message that will be set on that button. So you can change out the text over here to whatever you want it to say. And the button color for that button when it's clicked will also change over here. So this script will give an encouraging little fun message. Change out the color of that button when a user marks it as completed. And in order to not keep the colors too consistent, it will also shuffle those colors around and make it more readable. So over here, make the color and the text of that button readable. A really important thing to note is that if I just open up this container over here and scroll all the way down, you'll be able to see the lessons, right? But on each lesson, you'll also see this div with chapter menu check. And a really important thing to note is that this check will always have a class of yes. And this also is visible within the script in order to help it. Over here, yes, that class is added over here in order to essentially mark a lesson off as completed. If you want to style this class, you can just, if it's not here, select it over here, scroll all the way down and change out the background color as you want. So like this. Okay. A really important thing to note is that please do not delete this class from your site. So when you're clearing your classes, make sure that this class yes is always present, and this class here is complete is always present as well. Apart from that, you do have this really cool feature over here for backlinks, and it essentially allows a user to redirect back to the page that they came from. And there is a script on your lessons page that handles that all the way down here. That button also has an attribute of MS Code down here, MS Code backlink, and it essentially just allows a user to click back to the page that they came back from. So if I were to click back to this page, so we'll go to lesson 3 first. And then if I click back to button, then I will go back to lesson 1. Okay. And that's about it for your lessons template page. Again, just for this page, you will need to learn more about Finsweet CMS Nest feature, and you can go to finsweet.com/attributes for that. Another thing to note is that always keep this div hidden. Do not delete it from your site. All your lessons also have a check. Yeah, all your lessons also have a class of yes. Make sure that is always present on the site and never deleted. You also have a class of is complete here. Also make sure that is always present on your site. Apart from that, you are ready to launch your online course business. To actually get launch ready, so adding your domains to Webflow and Memberstack, you can follow this nifty video or watch this video from Julian on how to actually go live with Memberstack. With Webflow, it's a matter of adding your domain, and then you should be ready to launch your online course business. All right, I look forward to seeing what you come up with and what you're building, and that is it for how to start your online course business with the multi-course template. Bye.